Today, we'll be revisiting our good old friend, Brightside. So, grab your bingo cards because today is paleontology bingo.
You wake up in the middle of the night to a phone buzz.
Phone buzz of what? A scam link?
You know what time it is? You ask sleepily.
I think in this modern age, you can simply check the time using the phone. So, yeah, this is just... doesn't really hold up.
But then, you sit up in a jolt.
Get your stuff and go outside. They'll come fetch you in 10 minutes.
Is it because of the imminent battle of a glaze fest? Like, other Brightside videos?
Says a male voice on the other end. You step out of your house and watch as a small helicopter descends on your lawn.
This is made in March 2022, so it's a bit more up-to-date, supposedly, compared to the Megalodon versus Megapiranha or Megalodon versus Titanoboa video.
You get inside and meet a scientist there.
Nice! A short-haired woman. That is quite a break from all those stereotypes. That is cool.
She's a specialist in archaeology and paleontology. As the helicopter takes off, she tells you that something terrible happened on one of the islands in South America.
Is that the time-traveling prehistoric creatures going on a samurai duel with each other?
Our men are running from the battlefield! Escape for this place!
And you're flying directly there, right now. The whole operation is secret, so you're asked to give up your mobile phone.
Okay, is that how secret operations work? I'm not entirely sure.
The helicopter flies far beyond the night city and lands at the airport. From there, you transfer to a plane and fly to the coast of South America.
I'm pretty sure any sane human being would not want to try and witness a battle between two prehistoric creatures, two giant ones in fact, because they don't want to accidentally just die because of those prehistoric creatures' actions. By the way, by default, we can already circle the mentioned Titanoboa tile. And also, look at those Caribbean islands. Where is Haiti? Where are the rest of the Caribbean islands?
You land on a small island, and a guide ushers you to a jeep waiting nearby for several hours.
Does the island have food? Or toilet? Does the jeep have a food?
You and other scientists drive through the hot jungle. The road ends, and you continue your journey along a narrow path.
I like how goofy the main character is walking. Man, it's kind of making me laugh at the same time I'm not laughing.
You notice that the further you go, the quieter it gets. The birds don't sing. Not even the leaves on the trees rustle.
This is because they're consumed by fear of death!
The jungle finally ends, and you find yourself on the coast. There are many tents with scientific equipment, people, and cars.
Some more of those curious folks who want to see a gigantic awesome bro battle.
Several people in black suits lead you toward some fallen trees.
How does anyone not find it shady? I feel like any sane person would feel like this is some sort of death trap by spies.
You end up in the middle of a large trench that leads to the ocean.
When can we get to the actual fight part? By default, we can circle about the talks about facts not relevant to the title tile.
The trench begins in the forest, right at the fallen trees. Judging by its size, a train could have passed here, but the truth is much scarier.
We're finally going into the combatants. Alright, fine, alright, yay!
After some research, you tell people the creature that left such a trace became extinct about 60 million years ago.
If that applies to Titanoboa, it's correct. If it applies to the Mosasaurus, it's wrong.
The creature that uprooted so many trees is the largest snake that ever lived on Earth.
Okay, how can a Titanoboa uproot a tree like an elephant? By the way, as of 2022, Titanoboa was the longest snake until in 2024. Now it's Vasuki indicus.
You and the others must find out how this reptile managed to survive, and where it is now.
Now we're going to be circling the makes a ridiculous statement tile because there is no way in hell that a Titanoboa is still alive.
Titanoboa usually lived in tropical forests near swamps.
That Titanoboa head doesn't look quite right. It doesn't make the Titanoboa more streamlined, as opposed to what a Titanoboa should look like.
Apparently, the island is its home, but now something has forced the snake to crawl away into the ocean.
You serious?
Okay, why would Titanoboa be absolutely hardwired to fight to the death or just fight an honorable duel like a samurai? This is not Japanese Sengoku period. This is nature we're talking about.
You carefully examine the trench, then the fallen trees, and declare the snake was not alone.
Look at those faces, man. These are faces of either genuine horror or absolute. Oh.
It was fighting something as big as itself.
Also, why is the main character just hitting the gritty all of a sudden?
Everyone looks at you in shock, and the next moment, a deafening roar comes from the water, breaking the ocean's surface like a monstrous dolphin. A Mosasaurus emerges from the deep.
What the fuck?
A huge reptile that lived from 145 to 65 million years ago.
When it comes to just Mosasaurus, it lived around 82.7 million years ago to 66 million years ago.
In almost all waters of the world, it looks a lot like a crocodile.
Except it's more closely related to snakes and iguanas than Archosaurs.
Has smooth, dark scales, a fin at the end of its tail, and flippers instead of legs.
Boo-hoo-hoo, so scary. I'm gonna die of a heart attack now.
It measures 55 feet long, which is about the size of a 5-story building.
Outdated now. It's now more close to around 12 or 13 meters, so we're now just going to circle and use as an outdated estimate tile.
And weighs like half a subway car. And this huge dinosaur is coursing the waters near the shore right now, in front of you.
I won't circle any tile because this is hand-drawn, and so there's really not much for me to say about it. But this looks awful lot like the Jurassic World Mosasaurus, don't you think?
With its large fins, it creates waves that wash away several tents on the shore. People on the island scatter away in all directions.
Why does the sound effect look like a war instead of actual people just running for their lives? It feels more like a war.
Several ships and yachts are capsized. People on lifeboats are hurrying to the shore.
Okay, never mind. I was confused for a second that the sound effects don't look quite right.
Mosasaurus was one of the most formidable predators, not only in the sea, but also on land.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What did I just hear? Hold on, let me repeat that clip.
Mosasaurus was one of the most formidable predators, not only in the sea, but also on land.
How did that statement blurt out of this narrator's mouth? I'm at a loss for words, man.
I have no words. Nothing.
During the Cretaceous period, no creature dared to attack this monster.
Now we can circle the calls an animal monster tile? I should have seen that coming.
So their population spread all over the world. It wasn't used to feeling like prey, but now it seems the dinosaur has met a worthy opponent.
Ah, I see. Just doubling down on that brutal misconception of the Mosasaurus being a dinosaur.
The Mosasaurus dives back into the water as if running away from something.
This isn't Godzilla we're talking about here. This is just a regular animal, alright? There's no reason for an animal to swim towards another animal that is dangerous. Unless if they're like hunting or something, but it's just fighting a duel and not even eating afterwards. It's just wasting energy, and it's just not good for any animal involved here at all.
A few hundred feet away, you notice a long, smooth body of the Titanoboa.
Why does the Titanoboa look like something out of a horror movie?
It's stretched out to full length and is swimming after the Mosasaurus.
If I were the Titanoboa, I would immediately just back off, because the Mosasaurus is way bigger than the Titanoboa, and I don't think a sane Titanoboa would just go after the Mosasaurus relentlessly.
The snake is 42 feet long. This is 1.5 times more than a rail car. The biggest snake on the planet comes to grips with the scariest underwater dinosaur. And you're standing witness. The Titanoboa wraps itself around the sea predator.
In actuality, the Titanoboa would not be able to wrap around, and also the animation makes it look like the Titanoboa has broken into several parts
And drags it to the shore. With its flippers and fins adapted to the sea, the great dino will be at a disadvantage on land.
You said that, yet you also said that the Mosasaurus was a formidable predator not just in sea, but in land as well.
But it has lungs, not gills. It needs air to breathe, so the fight continues. Both the snake and the lizard end up on the shore.
Okay, why would any sane, regular human try and just voluntarily come and watch this fight go on? Unless if the fight isn't a closed enclosure, I don't think anyone will want to risk their lives.
You're watching them from behind the trees nearby. The snake squeezes its opponent hard and is winning.
This fight is just glazing the Titanoboa right now. I don't understand why the Mosasaurus would not just immediately chomp on the Titanoboa. Like, both intimidate each other, but of course Titanoboa would go first, or Mosasaurus would go first. Either way, Mosasaurus would just chomp the Titanoboa, it's over.
But the Mosasaurus manages to push the Titanoboa's head to the sand with its flipper. The snake lets the enemy go, and the Mosasaurus crawls back into the water. Because it's faster and more agile there than the snake.
If I were the Titanoboa right now, I would just go. Just run. Because it's just not worth it, man. It's just not worth risking a life. Risking my life, man.
The Titanoboa slithers after its rival. The fight goes on underwater.
Is the main character being the absolutely insane maniac this dude is gonna try and come up with a way to go after both of them?
The Mosasaurus manages to swim away from the shore and hide among the reefs and algae. Thanks to its dark scales, it's almost invisible there.
You're saying that, and you're just depicting it as if the Mosasaurus was prey to the Titanoboa.
Please.
The snake swims past, and the Mosasaurus jumps it from behind. Its powerful jaws are opening wide like a snake's. It clings to the opponent. The Titanoboa immediately reacts.
Does the Titanoboa not feel any pain at all when it got chomped by the Mosasaurus? What even is this glazing at this point? Imagine Brightside just somehow clutching Titanoboa victory now.
And wraps itself around the dinosaur.
Stop calling the Mosasaurus a dinosaur. It is not a dinosaur, for freaking sakes.
It bites the fin tail with its giant fangs. The two colossal animals are in a clinch now.
I'm genuinely surprised as to how the Titanoboa with this posture didn't get chomped in half already, man.
And don't know what to do next. The compressive force of the snake's grip is like the weight of the entire Brooklyn Bridge pressed onto a passenger car. The Mosasaurus is trapped.
Oh my god, when can we make all of this stop? When can we make this Titanoboa glazing stop, man? I still have to continue watching, though, just to see if Brightside is going to clutch the Titanoboa a victory or not.
And it starts kicking and swinging its flippers. It begins to turn around its axis, wrapped by the snake.
I don't know why the Titanoboa isn't, like, dizzy right now, just dazed, due to the constant turning of the Mosasaurus. What a determined Titanoboa this is.
The rotation of two giant reptiles in the sea creates a huge funnel in the water.
Ah, so it's going to start creating a whirlpool. And what sort of thing is the whirlpool gonna do? Attract the Megalodon, and the Megalodon eats them both?
Whole schools of fish swimming around get trapped in there. The Titanoboa becomes dizzy from this merry-go-round. It loses concentration and opens its jaws. The lizard uses all its strength to break free.
And why wouldn't the Mosasaurus just bite down on the Titanoboa now? Now's the perfect chance to bite down. Or is this some sort of samurai duel where the Mosasaurus and the Titanoboa, they have a strict code of honor and they have to let their opponent get up, you know, just help themselves first before they both fight again.
And the snake swims away from it. Now the dinosaur is chasing its opponent. The Titanoboa emerges from the water, not far from the shore.
And now the Titanoboa is jumping like a dolphin. Good job, people.
Helicopters fly around the island, recording the events. Yachts and small fishing boats sail to the site of the Battle of the Titans.
More like the battle of two samurai-minded people. One of size class different from the other, both fighting like samurai, of course.
The Titanoboa crawls out of the water and is about to disappear into the jungle, but the Mosasaurus grabs it at the last moment.
Okay, so now is the Titanoboa finally going to die? And by the way, the Mosasaurus would probably think that realistically it would not be worth it chasing a Titanoboa, alright?
There are two rows of teeth in its upper jaw. One of them is located closer to the pharynx. This row allows the dinosaur to hold its prey.
Can someone please count how many times Brightside called the Mosasaurus a dinosaur? I have genuinely lost count at this point.
While the prey resists, the duel continues on land.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
The trees around the two monsters shatter into splinters.
Show them shattering into splinters instead of, I don't know, just throwing the trees around while the trees are still whole.
The Titanoboa wraps itself around the enemy, opens its huge mouth, grabs the dinosaur's tail, and begins to slowly swallow it.
I am genuinely at a loss for words. Okay, the Titanoboa and the Mosasaurus in actuality are about the same length. So I don't know how a Titanoboa could just reliably chomp on the Mosasaurus. And even because the Mosasaurus is way bulkier, alright? If it goes on like this, I think the Titanoboa would just suffocate to death.
The Mosasaurus realizes the great snake's strategy and begins to thrash around. The snake blocks its movements, so the dino digs into the sandy beach.
I've basically ran out of memes and clips from just calling Mosasaurus a dinosaur every single time.
After a short while, a large pit appears beneath the monsters.
Still calling animals monsters. Sure. Why not?
The sand gets into the snake's eyes, and it lets go of the opponent. The Mosasaurus is again slowly crawling towards the water.
At this point, I think the Mosasaurus would register the Titanoboa as a legitimate threat, and it must be eliminated. And so the Mosasaurus would probably just chomp on the Titanoboa while going back towards the water. And I feel that Titanoboa would eventually just die, as the Mosasaurus would not let go.
And the Titanoboa is in no hurry to catch it. You can see the reptiles are tired. The Mosasaurus swims away from the shore and stares at the snake.
Alright, now just get as far away from the Titanoboa as possible. Because the fight is just not worth it, man. We're almost to the end now. And what sort of bullcrap is Brightside going to pull up?
From the shore, it looks like an enormous log. Two eyes the size of a football gaze intently at the snake.
Is this now a staring contest? Nothing makes sense in this battle. Nothing ever makes sense.
The Titanoboa lies in the sand and breathes heavily. Then, it stretches to its full length and looks back at the Mosasaurus.
They're going to have one last charge, one last brawl. All the marbles. Who will finally take the victory from the... I don't know at this point.
The snake's long body slowly bends, its muscles tense. The reptile is preparing to lunge.
What the fucking fuck? That is not okay!
That is one determined snake. However, in real life, it would be completely and utterly ridiculous. Self-preservation instincts, everyone.
The dinosaur is slowly heading toward the shore. It growls and paddles with its flippers. Like a seal, it squelches through the shallow water towards the Titanoboa.
Man, this feels like Jurassic Fight Club all over again. Just creatures that just never know when to quit, and then eventually just until one of them dies. It's just both funny and absolutely heartbreaking. It's an insult to paleontology itself that basically nothing over here has self-preservation instincts, any of that.
The snake uncoils like a spring towards the enemy. At great speed, two predators collide with their heads.
When it comes to a headlong charge, Mosasaurus could just simply chomp on the Titanoboa easily. Because Titanoboa, I don't think the Titanoboa's gape is wide enough to actually just attack the Mosasaurus and just to swallow the Mosasaurus' head. There's no way.
The hit is so strong, they lose their bearings and move away from each other. Now, each of them feels like a loser. The dinosaur slowly paddles into the water. And the snake returns to the jungle. The monsters are tired of fighting.
Oh. Okay. Fine. But, like, this is probably the most realistic thing that has happened in this fight. But are people now going to try and encourage the Mosasaurus and Titanoboa to fight again?
There's no winner. You and the rest of the people stand with your mouths open in complete silence.
There's no winner, because nature doesn't work like that. Nature isn't about fighting. You know, especially when it comes to paleontology. A lot of people think it's just fighting creatures. But it's just way more than that. It's how these animals interacted with others in their environment, their anatomy, their ecology, their... Man. This paleontology has just been watered down to a stat game.
You look around the island and notice trees with broken branches everywhere. In the depths of the island, you find a waterfall and huge wet stones.
Oh, is it supposed to be the Epilogue now? Okay, then.
There are large scratches on many of them. Somehow, millions of years ago, lots of ancient reptiles managed to survive global disasters on this island.
Mosasaurus did not survive the KPG extinction event. The Titanoboa didn't even live through the KPG extinction event. So I don't know what sort of meth are you on when you're talking about this.
And now, there are only 2 left. You conclude that the Mosasaurus and the Titanoboa have been fighting each other for years.
What sort of bitter rivalry do they have? Is it like Uncle Roger versus Jamie Oliver?
Soon, these reptiles will gain strength again and continue their eternal struggle.
This is so damn hilariously stupid and utterly dumb, and I don't know why. It's just, oh my god, I'm at a loss for words right now. This is not good. This is terrible.
You decide to leave the island before that happens.
Here are the results, and I'm honestly kind of disappointed considering how much glaze Brightside gave to Titanoboa. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Special thanks to channel members for supporting this channel. It helps out a ton.